I just wanted to explain a little more why I think that inequality is inevitable in today's imperialistic society. So, going back to Du Bois' article, it was about how we live in a world that's divided by a color line, where there's two parts, the privileged part and then the constrained part. And one example of this is when Du Bois wrote about his son and how he died because they just refused to give him medical treatment because he was based on his skin color or his race, you know. And in this instance, Du Bois and his son were the constrained, and the doctors were the privileged because they had the ultimate power to decide whether or not they would treat Du Bois' son, and they ultimately chose not to. And going back to Weber, he explained that status is formed out of the tendency of people to judge each other. So in terms of society, there are many social groups. Some groups benefit and they have a high status, and others are put in a disadvantage and they're treated negatively because they are judged by the high status social groups to be inferior. And in today's society, membership of certain racial groups implies wealth, and being a member of a low status group implies poorness and basically no hopes of advancing. You can't move up if you're in the low class, and if you are in like a low class, then you just have to work extra hard. But why is inequality even a thing? Why does it exist? I mean, like I said, we live in a capitalistic society in which if you're not the top dog, then you're the underdog. And because of imperialism, our economy is based on money, and money is basically what drives our society, makes the world go round. And when people are money hungry, they don't really care about anything else. The only thing they care about is making money, and even if that comes at the expense of, you know, other people. So yes, inequality is unavoidable. There are many different types of inequalities. There's not just one type. There's social, gender, wealth, and racial inequality. And the only way that inequalities would cease to exist is if people get rid of their prejudice, their greediness, and just learn to value every member of society. But I really don't see that happening because as humans, we're competitive, some of us arrogant, some of us greedy. Well, I feel like everybody is to an extent. But I don't think that it would be possible to live in or just be in a world where inequality doesn't exist, because like I said, it's kind of like survival of the fittest. If you're either going to be rich or you're going to be poor, and of course you want to be rich, and you're not going to care if it comes at the expense of like another racial group or gender, like another gender like group, or it doesn't really matter as long as you're the one that's up top, and as long as you're the one in power, nobody else beneath you matters. And I think that's what's wrong with society today. But in a perfect world, inequality would not exist, neither would prejudice. And that's it.